The last thing Dr. Maya remembered was the terrible sound of metal tearing apart. Her research team's small shuttle had been flying over the mysterious planet below when something went wrong with the engines. The warning lights started flashing. Red, and then everything went black. Now she was waking up somewhere completely different. Her head felt heavy, like she had been sleeping for days. The ceiling above her wasn't the familiar white panels of her Earthship. Instead, it looked smooth and almost alive, with a soft blue glow coming from lines that ran across it like veins. Maya tried to sit up, but her body felt weak. That's when she noticed someone standing next to her bed. At first, she thought her eyes were playing tricks on her. The figure was tall, much taller than any human, with skin that looked like liquid silver. It had 4 arms instead of 2, and its face was long and angular, with large dark eyes that seemed to study everything. "You are awake," the being said. Its voice was strange, like music mixed with the sound of wind through trees. "Hey, this is good. I was beginning to worry about your recovery time." Maya's mouth felt dry. She tried to speak, but only managed to whisper. Where am I?"
Yeah.
The alien creature moved closer, and Maya could see it was wearing something that looked like medical clothes, though the material seemed to shift colors as it moved. "You are in my medical facility. Your flying machine crashed on our research station's landing platform. Very fortunate for you. If you had crashed anywhere else on this world, you would not have survived." "My team," Maya said, her voice getting stronger. "What happened to my team?" The alien tilted its head in a way that reminded Maya of a curious bird. "They are safe, but they require more time. Their injuries were more significant. You were the least damaged, which is why I chose to treat you first." Maya looked around the room she was in. Everything seemed to be made of the same smooth, living material. Devices she couldn't understand hummed quietly in the corners. Through a large window, she could see a landscape that definitely wasn't Earth. Strange purple trees swayed in the distance, and the sky had 2 moons hanging in it. "I know this is confusing for you," the alien continued. And Maya could swear she saw something like a smile cross its face. "But every inch of you needs treatment, human. Your species is far more fragile than you realize." There was something in the way it said those words that made Maya feel both worried and curious at the same time. The alien didn't sound mean or threatening. If anything, it seemed almost excited about something. "My name is Zara," Maya said, deciding that being polite was probably her best choice right now. "What should I call you?" "I am Velthari. In your language, you may call me Healer Kess. I am what you might call a doctor, though that word does not fully capture what I do." Healer Kess moved around the bed, checking various glowing displays that Maya hadn't noticed before. "Tell me, Zara, what do you know about biology? About how living things work?" "I'm a scientist," Maya replied, watching, as one of Kess's 4 hands operated a device, while another took notes on what looked like a floating screen. "I study life forms on different planets. That's why we were here, actually. We detected unusual energy readings from your world." Kess stopped what it was doing and looked directly at Maya. For a moment, its large dark eyes seemed to light up. "With interest? How fascinating. So you are what your people call a xenobiologist?" "Yes, exactly," Maya said, surprised that the alien knew the term. "Then this is even more perfect than I thought," Kess said, and this time Maya was sure it was smiling. "You see, Zara, I am also a xenobiologist. I study alien life forms. And right now, you are my most interesting patient." Maya felt a chill run down her spine, but not from fear. There was something in Kess's tone that suggested this wasn't going to be a normal doctor-patient relationship. "What exactly do you mean by treatment?" Maya asked carefully. Kess moved to a wall where images suddenly appeared, showing what looked like scan results of a human body. Maya realized with a start that it was her body being displayed in incredible detail. "Your species has many weaknesses," Kess explained, pointing to different areas of the scans. "Your bones break easily. Your skin provides little protection. Your organs are inefficient. But—" Kess paused and looked at Maya with what she was beginning to recognize as professional excitement. "You also have remarkable adaptability. Immune system learns and grows stronger. Your brain can process incredible amounts of information. Your emotional responses drive you to survive against impossible odds. Maya listened, fascinated despite her situation. So you're studying me? I am treating you, Kes corrected. But yes, I am also learning from you. See this facility? Where you find yourself is not just a medical center. It is a research station where different species come to understand each other better. We have been waiting for humans to reach this level of space travel for a very long time. Waiting for us? Why? Kes turned back to the displays, manipulating them with movements of its hands that seemed almost like a dance. Because your species represents something unique in the galaxy. Most civilizations that achieve spaceflight have already modified themselves extensively. They have changed their biology to be more efficient, more durable, but humans, Humans are still in their original form, yet you have achieved so much. Maya tried to process this information. Are you saying that other alien species have changed themselves? Modified, enhanced, evolved beyond their original biology. Yes, it is the normal path. But it also means they have lost something in the process. The raw adaptability, the creative chaos that comes from an unmodified biological system. Moved closer to Maya's bed again. This is why every inch of you needs treatment, but not in the way you might think. I do not want to fix you because you are broken. I want to help you survive in environments your body was not designed for, while keeping everything that makes you uniquely human. Maya felt her scientific curiosity overriding her fear. How would you do that? Very carefully, Kes replied. With what Maya was now certain was definitely a smile. And with your complete cooperation, see Zara, I have a proposal for you. Help me understand human biology, and I will help you and your team not just survive, but thrive in ways you never imagined possible. Maya looked around the medical bay again, at the impossible technology surrounding her. The alien being who seemed genuinely excited about the prospect of working with her rather than experimenting on her. What exactly are you suggesting? She asked. Kes moved to the window and gestured toward the strange landscape outside. I am suggesting that you become the first human to undergo voluntary biointegration with alien medical technology. Not to change what you are, but to enhance your ability to explore the galaxy while remaining fundamentally human. Maya felt her heart rate increase. She noticed that several of the monitoring devices around her bed began to respond to her elevated pulse. And if I say no, then I will heal your injuries using conventional methods, and you and your team will be returned to the nearest human space station. But you will have missed the opportunity to become something unprecedented in galactic history. Stared at the alien doctor, realizing that her answer to this question would change not just her life, but possibly the future of human space exploration. How long do I have to decide? Kes's expression grew more serious. Your body is currently stable, but it will not remain so in this environment without intervention. I would say you have perhaps 2 of your Earth days to make your choice. Maya closed her eyes and tried to think clearly. When she opened them again, Kes was still watching her with those large, patient eyes. Can I ask you something? Maya said. Of course. That expression you make, the one I think is a smile. What does it mean in your culture? Kes paused, and for the first time, seemed to consider its words carefully. Among my people, it indicates anticipation of discovery. When we encounter something that might teach us something completely new about the universe. Maya nodded slowly. So when you look at me, I see the possibility of understanding something that has never been understood before, Kes finished. Your species, your biology, your potential, it is how do you say exciting? Maya couldn't help but smile back, a real human smile. Well, Healer Kes, I think this is going to be a very interesting conversation. The next morning, Maya woke up feeling much stronger than the day before. The strange blue lights in the ceiling had dimmed to a soft glow, and she could hear gentle sounds coming from somewhere in the medical facility. When she sat up, she was surprised to find that her body didn't ache anymore. Good morning, Zara, came Healer Kes's musical voice from across the room. The tall alien was standing at what looked like a workstation, its forehands moving gracefully over floating displays. How do you feel today? It's much better, actually. Maya replied, stretching her arms. What did you do to me while I was sleeping? Kess turned around, and Maya noticed it was carrying a device that looked like a crystal mixed with metal. I introduced some basic healing enhancers into your system. Nothing permanent, just enough to help your body repair itself faster. Think of it as ... advanced vitamins. Maya swung her legs over the side of the bed and stood up. To her amazement, she felt completely steady on her feet. This is incredible. Yesterday, I could barely sit up. Your species recovers remarkably quickly when given the right support, Kess said, moving closer. Today, if you are willing, I would like to conduct some more detailed examinations. Nothing invasive, I promise. I simply want to understand how your body works. Maya looked around the medical bay. The daylight streaming through the large windows, she could see the facility more clearly. The walls seemed to pulse gently with life, and she realized that much of the technology here was biological rather than mechanical. Before we start, Maya said, can I ask you something? Yesterday you mentioned that other species have modified themselves. What did you mean exactly? Kess gestured for Maya to sit in what appeared to be a comfortable chair that formed itself from the wall. Most civilizations, when they develop advanced technology, begin to change their bodies. They make their bones stronger, their organs more efficient, their lifespans longer. It is logical, but Maya sensed there was more to the story. But in doing so, they lose something essential: the ability to adapt naturally. The creative solutions that come from biological chaos. The emotional drives that push beings to achieve impossible things. Kess moved to another workstation. My people, the Velthari, did this thousands of years ago. We are very efficient. Now, very logical. But we have trouble with innovation, with thinking in new ways. Maya found this fascinating. So you study other species to understand what you've lost? Exactly. Humans. Humans are the most interesting species we have encountered in centuries. Kess returned with several devices that looked like they were grown rather than built. You have reached the stars without modifying yourselves at all. You solve problems in ways that our computer models say should be impossible. You form emotional bonds that help you survive situations that should kill you, and that's why you want to study me. Study you, yes, but also learn from you, and perhaps help you become something that has never existed before. A species that can explore the galaxy while keeping all the qualities that make you uniquely human. Maya felt a thrill of excitement mixed with nervousness. What kind of examinations are we talking about? Kess held up one of the crystal devices. Scan your body at the cellular level. It's completely painless. You'll just feel a slight warming sensation. This one, it showed her another device, will monitor your brain activity while you perform various tasks. And this one will analyze how your immune system responds to different stimuli. It sounds like you're planning to spend the whole day studying me, Maya said with a smile. If you are willing, yes. But I want you to understand, this is not just me studying you. I want you to study me as well. Ask questions about our biology, our technology, our society. This is an exchange between scientists. Maya's curiosity was definitely winning over her caution. All right, Dr. Kess, let's do some science. The first few hours were unlike anything Maya had ever experienced. The scanning devices felt warm and tingly against her skin, and the floating displays showed her body in ways she had never seen before. Kess explained everything it was seeing, and Maya was amazed at how much detail the alien technology could capture. Your cardiovascular system is remarkably adaptable, Kess observed, pointing to a three-dimensional image of Maya's heart. It can increase efficiency by nearly 40% under stress. Most species we study have much more rigid biological systems. What about your people? Maya asked. How does your cardiovascular system work? Yes, smiled. Maya was getting better at reading its expressions. We have 3 hearts, each specialized for different functions. Very efficient, but they cannot adapt like yours can. If one fails, we must replace it with technology. If your heart is damaged, it can often heal itself. Maya learned incredible things about both species. The Velthari had bodies that were almost like living machines. Everything optimized for maximum efficiency. But humans, despite being more fragile, had biological systems that could change and adapt in real time. "Look at this," Kes said excitedly, showing Maya a scan of her brain. "When I presented you with a problem to solve, your neural pathways literally rearranged themselves to find a solution. Our brains cannot do this anymore. We think in predetermined patterns." "That doesn't sound all bad," Maya said. "Your technology is obviously far more advanced than ours." "Advanced, yes, but it has been the same for thousands of years. We perfect what we have, but we rarely invent something completely new. Your species creates new solutions constantly." During lunch, which consisted of a surprisingly tasty nutrient paste that Kes assured her was safe for humans, Maya asked, "About the other members of her team?" "They are stable," Kes assured her. "Two of them have injuries that require more time to heal. The third has some complications that I am still working to understand, but seeing how well you are responding to treatment gives me hope for them as well." "Can I see them? Perhaps tomorrow?" "Today, I want to focus on understanding your baseline biology before I attempt to treat their more serious conditions." The afternoon brought more tests, but also more conversation. Maya learned that the research station was a joint project between several alien species, all trying to understand each other better. The Velthari were the medical specialists, but there were also species that focused on technology, psychology, and environmental science. "Why haven't you made contact with Earth directly?" Maya asked during one of the tests. Kes paused in its work. "Your species is at a critical point in its development. Direct contact could push your civilization in directions that might not be beneficial. It is better to wait until humans reach out to the galaxy on their own, like we did by accident when we crashed here." "Nothing about your arrival here was an accident," Kes said quietly. "The energy readings your team detected? Those were deliberately placed to attract human attention. We have been monitoring your species' progress for decades, waiting for the right moment." Maya felt a chill run down her spine. "You've been watching us? Observing? Learning? Preparing for this moment when we could finally meet as equals, rather than as a more advanced species studying a less developed one. And now?" Kes looked directly at her with those large, dark eyes. "Now we find out if humans and Velthari can work together to create something that benefits both our species. But first, we must make sure you can survive in environments beyond your home world." Maya realized that everything that had happened, the crash, the rescue, even this conversation, was part of something much bigger than she had imagined. "What happens next?" she asked. "Tomorrow, we begin the real work," Kes replied. "Today was just the beginning." As evening approached, and the blue lights in the ceiling began to dim again, Maya lay in her bed thinking about everything she had learned. She was no longer just a crash survivor being treated by an alien doctor. She was potentially the first human to participate in something that could change the future of both species. The thought was both terrifying and thrilling. But as she drifted off to sleep, Maya realized she had never been more excited about anything in her entire life. Maya woke up on her third day in the facility feeling like a completely different person. Her body felt stronger than it had in years, and her mind was clearer than ever before. As she sat up in bed, she noticed healer Kes was already working at the main console, but today something was different. There were other figures in the room. "Good morning, Zara," Kes said, turning to greet her. "I hope you slept well. Today I have some colleagues who would like to meet you." Maya looked at the other beings in the room. One was similar to Kes, but shorter, with golden skin instead of silver. Another looked completely different, more like a walking tree, with crystalline formations growing from its branches. The third being appeared to be made of some kind of flowing energy contained in a transparent suit. "Don't worry," Kes said, noticing Maya's surprised expression. "They are all medical researchers like myself. We often work together on complex cases." The golden-skinned being stepped forward and spoke in the same musical language as Kes, but with a different tone. "This is Dr. Yelm," Kes translated. "She specializes in neural systems." The tall one is Dr. Groot. Yes, I know that sounds amusing in your language, who studies regenerative biology. Me, and the energy being is Dr. Flux, an expert in adaptive Physiology. They're all here to study me, Maya asked, feeling suddenly self-conscious. We're here to learn from each other, Dr. Yellen said, speaking in accented but clear English. Your case has become quite famous in our scientific community. A completely unmodified, intelligent species reaching interstellar travel? It's unprecedented. Dr. Groot's voice sounded like wind through leaves. We have been sharing data about your biology with researchers across 3 star systems. Everyone wants to understand how this is possible. Maya felt overwhelmed, but also excited, so I'm like a scientific celebrity? More than that, Dr. Flux said, its voice like the sound of electricity crackling. You represent hope for many species who feel they may have lost something important when they modified themselves. Kes moved to Maya's bedside. Today we want to show you something special. We want to take you to see your teammates, and we want you to experience what we call the integration chamber. Integration chamber? Maya asked. That sounds serious. Where we conduct our most advanced medical procedures, Kes explained. But don't worry, today you're just observing. We want you to understand what we're offering before you make any decisions. After breakfast, the group led Maya through corridors she hadn't seen before. The facility was much larger than she had. Realized, through windows, she could see other beings of different species working in laboratories and meeting rooms. It looked like a bustling scientific research center. How many different species work here? Maya asked as they walked. Currently, we have representatives from 12 different civilizations, Dr. Yellen replied. This station is one of the few places in the galaxy where so many species can work together safely. They stopped at a large window that looked into a medical bay similar to the one where Maya had been staying. Inside, she could see 3 humans lying in beds that looked more like cocoons made of the same living material as the walls. Your teammates, Kes said gently. Commander Torres, Dr. Park, and Engineer Williams. Maya pressed her hand against the window. Her friends looked peaceful, but she could see that they were connected to much more complex medical equipment than she had been. Are they going to be okay? Commander Torres has spinal injuries that would have left her paralyzed by human medical standards, Dr. Groot explained. We are regenerating the damaged tissue slowly to ensure it integrates properly with her existing nervous system. Dr. Park suffered severe internal injuries, Dr. Flux added. We are rebuilding his cardiovascular system using a combination of his own stem cells and biocompatible materials. And Engineer Williams has brain trauma that we are treating with neural pathway reconstruction, Dr. Yellen said. It's delicate work, but her brain is showing remarkable adaptation to our techniques. Maya felt tears in her eyes. How long will it take? With traditional methods, several more weeks, Kes said. But if you agree to the integration procedure, and it works as we hope, we could use what we learned from you to accelerate their healing significantly. They continued down the corridor to a vast circular chamber with a domed ceiling that seemed to be made of pure light. In the center was a pool of liquid that glowed with soft blue energy. This is the integration chamber, Kes said with obvious pride. Here we can temporarily merge biological systems from different species to study how they might work together. It's beautiful, Maya whispered, but also kind of scary. Fear is natural, Dr. Yellen said kindly. What we're proposing has never been done with a human before. It would be connecting your biology to our healing systems while you remain conscious and in control. Dr. Groot approached one of the control panels around the chamber. The process would allow your body to experience accelerated healing and enhanced capabilities while maintaining your human consciousness and memories. What kind of enhanced capabilities? Maya asked. Dr. Flux moved closer to the pool, and Maya could see energy patterns swirling within its transparent suit. Enhanced immune response to alien pathogens. Improved healing speed. The ability to survive in environments that would normally be fatal to humans, possibly even extended lifespan. And the risks? Maya asked, because she was still a scientist, and needed to know all the facts. Kes was quiet for a moment. There is a possibility that the integration could change you in ways we cannot predict. Your body might adapt in unexpected directions, and there's a small chance that the process could be irreversible. How small? Based on our models and tests with compatible species, less than 5%, Dr. Yellen said. But we must be honest with humans. We simply don't know for certain. Maya walked around the chamber, studying the technology. If this works, what happens next? Do I become some kind of human-alien hybrid? You remain human, Kes assured her, but you become a human who can survive and thrive in the larger galaxy. Think of it as evolution, but guided and accelerated. Groot's crystalline formations glowed brighter. You would also become a bridge between our species. Someone who can help humans and other galactic civilizations understand each other. And if it doesn't work, then we continue with conventional treatment for you and your team, Dr. Flux said. You would eventually be returned to human space. Though the journey would be longer and more difficult, Maya stared into the glowing pool, thinking about everything she had learned over the past 3 days. The responsibility felt enormous. She wasn't just making a decision about her own future, but potentially about humanity's place in the galaxy. Can I ask you all something? She said finally. Of course, they all replied in various ways. Why does this matter so much to you? I mean, you all have advanced civilizations, incredible technology. Why do you care about helping humans? For alien doctors exchanged glances. Finally, Kes spoke for the group. Because we have all lost something in our pursuit of perfection. We became efficient, logical, advanced, but we also became ... limited. When we study humans, we see the creativity, the adaptability, the emotional strength that we gave up. We hope that by helping humans join the galactic community without losing these qualities, we might learn how to regain some of what we lost. Dr. Yell nodded. You represent possibility. The chance that a species can grow and advance without sacrificing the chaos and beauty that makes life truly alive. Maya felt the weight of their words. She was beginning to understand that this was about much more than just her survival or even humanity's future. This was about the future of life itself in the galaxy. I need to think about this, she said. Of course, Kes replied. Take all the time you need. Remember your teammates. Recovery depends partly on what we learn from you. And there are others watching this experiment who will make decisions about humanity's future based on its outcome. As they walked back through the facility, Maya's mind was spinning with possibilities and responsibilities. She was no longer just Dr. Maya Chen, xenobiologist. She was potentially the key to humanity's future among the stars. The question was she brave enough to turn that key? Maya spent the entire night staring at the ceiling of her room, watching the gentle blue patterns flow like slow lightning across the surface. She had been given the most important decision in human history to make, and the weight of it felt crushing. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw her teammates lying in those medical cocoons. Depending on her choice for their recovery, when morning came, she had made her decision. I'll do it, she told Healer Kes as soon as the alien doctor entered her room, but I have conditions. Kes stopped in its tracks, all 4 hands pausing in their morning routine. What conditions? First, I want to be conscious during the entire procedure. No sedatives, no loss of awareness. If something goes wrong, I want to know immediately. Maya sat up in bed, her voice steady despite the fear she felt inside. Second, I want a complete record of everything that happens. If this doesn't work out, at least the data might help the next person who tries. And third, Kes asked, sensing there was more, if the procedure succeeds, I want to help treat my teammates. Personally, they're my responsibility, and I want to be part of their recovery. Kes's expression that look Maya had learned to recognize as a smile spread across its angular features.
Oh.
These are reasonable requests. In fact, they show the exact kind of thinking that makes humans so remarkable. You're planning for both success and failure while taking responsibility for others. Within an hour, the integration chamber was buzzing with activity. Dr. Yellen was calibrating neural monitoring equipment, while Dr. Grudy prepared biological samples that would help Maya's body adapt to the process. Dr. Flux was managing the energy, systems that would power the integration. And dozens of other scientists from various species had gathered to observe what everyone understood was a historic moment. Are you nervous? Dr. Yellman asked as she attached monitoring devices to Maya's head. Terrified, Maya admitted honestly, but also excited. How often does someone get to be part of something that could change everything? The preparation took Several hours? Maya had to drink a series of liquids that tasted like everything from mint to copper, each one designed to prepare her body for what was coming. The monitoring equipment showed her vital signs on floating displays around the chamber. She was amazed at how calm she actually looked on the readouts, despite feeling like her heart was racing. The process will happen in stages, Kes explained. As Maya stepped into the chamber wearing a special suit that felt like it was made of liquid silk. First, we'll establish basic compatibility between your biology and our systems. This will feel like a warm, tingling sensation throughout your body. Then we'll begin the neural integration, Dr. Yellen added. You may experience flashes of sensation or memory that don't belong to you. Don't be alarmed. It's just your brain learning to process information from our biological networks. Dr. Groot approached with a container of the glowing blue liquid Maya had seen in the pool. The final stage involves cellular adaptation. Your body will learn to repair itself more efficiently and to resist environmental factors that would normally be harmful to humans. How long will the whole thing take? Maya asked, stepping to the edge of the glowing pool. If everything goes according to our models, about 6 hours, Dr. Flux replied. But remember, we're prepared to stop the process. Immediately, if anything goes wrong, Maya took a deep breath and stepped into the pool. The liquid was warm and felt almost alive as it rose around her legs, then her waist, then her chest. When it reached her shoulders, she felt the first tingles of the integration beginning. Stage 1 initiating, Kes announced to the assembled scientists. The warm, tingling sensation spread through Maya's entire body, starting from where the liquid touched her skin and flowing inward like gentle electricity. It didn't hurt, but she could feel something fundamental happening at the cellular level. On the monitoring displays around the chamber, she could see her body's systems beginning to synchronize with the alien technology. How do you feel? Dr. Yellen asked. Strange, Maya replied honestly. Like I'm becoming more myself, if that makes sense. Everything feels ... enhanced. For the first hour, the changes were subtle. Maya's vision became sharper, her hearing more acute. She could sense the electromagnetic patterns of the equipment around her. She began to understand instinctively how the alien technology worked. Stage 2 beginning, Kes announced. This was when things became really interesting. Maya suddenly found herself experiencing flashes of memory that weren't her own. She saw the Velthari homeworld, a beautiful planet with crystal cities that grew like living things. She felt the satisfaction of a successful medical procedure performed by Dr. Groot on a patient from a species she didn't recognize. She experienced the pure energy existence of Dr. Flux's people, flying through space itself without need for ships. I can see your memories, Maya said in wonder. All of your people's histories. It's incredible. And we can sense your thoughts. As well, Dr. Yellen replied, your human perspective is fascinating. The way you process problems, the connections you make between seemingly unrelated concepts, it's completely different from how we think. But then, something unexpected happened. About 3 hours into the procedure, alarms began sounding around the chamber. What's wrong? Maya asked, though strangely she didn't feel afraid. Kes was studying the readouts with obvious concern. Your body is adapting faster than our models. Predicted much faster. Integrating systems we didn't think would be compatible with human biology. Dr. Flux moved closer to the pool, its energy form flickering with what Maya somehow knew was excitement. She's not just accepting our enhancements, she's improving them. What do you mean? Maya asked, though part of her already understood. Immune system is taking our cellular repair mechanisms and making them more efficient, Dr. Groot explained, its crystalline formations glowing brighter. Your neural pathways are creating connections that we didn't design. You're evolving the technology as it integrates with you. Maya could feel it happening. The alien enhancements weren't just being added to her human biology, they were being transformed by it. Her body was taking what it needed and adapting everything else to work better together. Is this dangerous? She asked. We don't know. Kes admitted, this has never happened before. You want to stop? Maya considered the question seriously. She could feel her body changing, becoming something new. But she still felt completely human. In fact, she felt more human than ever. before, as if the enhancements were bringing out qualities that had always been there but dormant. "No," she said firmly. "Let's see where this goes." The next 2 hours were a whirlwind of change. Maya's body began producing new types of cells that could repair damage almost instantly. Her brain developed the ability to process information from multiple alien technology systems simultaneously. Most remarkably, she began to emit a kind of biological energy that seemed to enhance the healing capabilities of the chamber itself. "Look at this," Dr. Yeln said excitedly, pointing to displays showing Maya's neural activity. "She's not just connected to our systems anymore. She's teaching them new ways to function." When the procedure finally completed, Maya felt like she had been reborn. As she stepped out of the pool, she realized she could sense the biological state of every person in the chamber. She could feel their excitement, their amazement, and their hope. "How do you feel?" Kes asked. Maya stretched, marveling at how strong and alive her body felt. "I feel like myself, but more so. Like I've become what humans were always meant to be." Dr. Groot approached with a scanner. "Your cellular structure is remarkable. You have retained complete human DNA, but you've added capabilities we didn't even know were possible. And the best part," Dr. Flux added, "is that what we've learned from your integration can now be applied to help your teammates recover faster and more completely than we ever imagined?" Maya smiled, feeling a deep sense of satisfaction. She had not only survived the procedure, but she had helped create something entirely new. She was still human, but she was also something more, a bridge between species that could help both. Humans and aliens grow in ways neither could achieve alone. "When do we start treating my team?" she asked. Kess's expression showed pure joy. "Right now, if you're ready. What you've taught us today, we can have them fully recovered within days instead of weeks." Maya nodded, feeling more purpose and excitement than she had ever experienced in her life. The real work was just beginning. 2 days after her transformation, Maya stood outside the medical bay where her teammates were recovering, feeling more nervous than she had during her own procedure. Through the transparent walls, she could see Commander Torres sitting up in her bed, moving her legs for the first time since the crash. Dr. Park was laughing at something Engineer Williams had said, both of them looking healthier than Maya had seen them in months. "They don't know what happened to you yet," Healer Kess said quietly beside her. "We thought it would be better if the news came from you." Maya nodded, running her hand through her hair. To her amazement, even that simple action felt different now. She could sense the health of each individual hair follicle, feel the way her enhanced circulation was nourishing every cell in her scalp. It was overwhelming sometimes, being aware of so much about her own body. "How much should I tell them?" she asked. "Everything," Dr. Yellen suggested, joining them in the corridor. "They are scientists, like you. They will understand the significance of what has happened better than most." When Maya entered the medical bay, her 3 teammates immediately noticed something different about her. She moved with a confidence she had never had before, and there was something almost luminous about her appearance, as if she was glowing very softly from within. "Maya," Commander Torres called out, her voice much stronger than it had been since the crash. "You look incredible. What have they been feeding you?" Engineer Williams squinted at her friend. "There's something different about you. Your eyes are brighter, and you seem taller somehow." Dr. Park, ever the analytical scientist, was studying Maya more carefully. "Your posture is completely different. And unless I'm imagining things, you're breathing differently too. Slower, more efficiently." Anaya pulled up a chair and sat down where all 3 of them could see her clearly. "I need to tell you all something important, something that's going to change everything for us." Over the next hour, Maya explained everything that had happened since they had been brought to the station. She told them about the integration chamber, about her decision to undergo the procedure, and about how her body had not just accepted the alien enhancements, but had actually improved upon them. "So you're saying," Commander Torres said slowly, "that you're now part human, part alien?" "Not exactly," Maya replied, reaching out to touch her friend's hand. As soon as their skin made contact, Torres gasped, "I can feel something, like a warm energy flowing from you to me." "That's part of what the integration did," Maya explained. "I can now share some of the healing capabilities with other humans through direct contact. Watch." Torres had been struggling with residual pain in her back where her spine had been damaged. But as Maya maintained contact, that pain began to fade away completely. "This is impossible," Dr. Park whispered, but his scientific excitement was clear in his voice. "Maya, do you understand what this means? You've become a living bridge between human and alien biology." Engineer Williams was more practical in her concerns. "But are you still, do you still feel human?" Maya considered the question seriously. "I feel more human than I ever have before. It's like all the potential that was always in human biology has been unlocked. I can heal faster, think clearer, sense things I never could before. But my memories, my personality, my emotions, they're all still completely mine." Dr. Yelna appeared in the doorway. "We've been monitoring the energy exchange between you and Commander Torres. Maya's enhanced biology is actually accelerating the healing process we started. At this rate, all three of you could be completely recovered within days." "And then what?" Commander Torres asked. "Do we go home? Do we stay here? Do we become like Maya?" It was Healer Kess who answered, entering with several data tablets in its 4 hands. "That choice will be entirely yours to make. But first, there is something else you all need to know." Kess activated one of the tablets, showing a star map with dozens of highlighted systems. Word of Maya's successful integration has spread throughout the galactic scientific community. Representatives from over 30 different species have requested meetings. Some want to study her enhanced biology. Others want to propose joint research projects between their civilizations and humanity. Basically, Dr. Flux added, materializing. In the room with its characteristic crackling sound, Maya has accidentally made humanity the most sought-after species for cooperation in the galaxy. Maya felt a thrill of excitement mixed with responsibility. "What kind of cooperation?" Dr. Groot appeared next, its crystalline formations glowing softly. "Medical research partnerships, technology exchanges, cultural studies. Some species are offering to help establish human colonies on planets that would normally be too hostile for your people to survive on." Engineer Williams sat up straighter in her bed. "Are you saying that Maya's transformation could lead to humans spreading throughout the galaxy?" "More than that," Kess replied. "It could lead to a new type of galactic civilization. Species maintain their unique qualities while gaining the ability to thrive in any environment." Over the following days, Maya worked closely with the alien medical team to accelerate her teammates' recovery. Each day brought new revelations about her enhanced capabilities. She discovered she could not only share healing energy but also temporarily grant other humans enhanced senses and improved physical capabilities. Commander Torres was the first to volunteer for a limited integration procedure. Inspired by seeing how Maya had retained her humanity while gaining so much, the process was much easier the second time, guided by what the medical team had learned from Maya's transformation. "It's amazing," Torres said after her own enhancement. "I feel like I could run a marathon and solve complex equations at the same time." Dr. Park and Engineer Williams soon followed, each choosing slightly different enhancements based on their specialties and personal preferences. Dr. Park focused on cognitive improvements that would help him process vast amounts of scientific data. Williams opted for enhanced physical capabilities. That would make her incredibly effective at engineering tasks in challenging environments. But the most remarkable discovery came when all 4 enhanced humans were together. Their combined abilities seemed to multiply rather than simply add together. They could share thoughts, coordinate actions perfectly, and solve problems as a unified team in ways that amazed even the alien scientists studying them. "You have created something entirely new," Dr. Yellen observed during one of their group sessions. "You are still individuals, but you can also function as a collective intelligence when needed." 3 weeks after the crash that had brought them to the station, Maya and her team were faced with the biggest decision of their lives. They could return to Earth as enhanced humans, potentially revolutionizing their species' future. They could stay at the research station and help establish the first permanent human presence in the galactic community. Or they could do something unprecedented, become ambassadors, traveling between worlds, helping other species learn from humanity's unique approach to enhancement and adaptation. "I know what I want to do," Maya said, as the 4 of them stood on an observation deck looking out at the stars. "I want to see what's out there. I want to help build bridges between species. I want to show the galaxy what humans can accomplish when we work together with others." Commander Torres nodded. Earth will always be our home, but maybe it's time for humans to have more than one home. Dr. Park was already making notes on a tablet. The research opportunities alone would advance human science by centuries. Engineer Williams grinned. Plus, think of all the incredible technology we could learn to build. 6 months later, the 4 enhanced humans had become legends throughout the galaxy. They had successfully mediated disputes between species that had been enemies for generations. They had helped develop new medical techniques that benefited dozens of different civilizations. And most importantly, they had shown that it was possible to grow and change while remaining true to what made each species unique, Maya often thought. About that first day when she had awakened in the alien medical bay, frightened and alone. Healer Kess had said that every inch of her needed treatment, and at the time, Maya had thought that meant she was broken. Now she understood that Kess had been talking about potential. Every inch of her had held the possibility of becoming something greater, not just for herself, but for all of humanity and their new galactic neighbors. As she stood in the command center of their new ship, a vessel designed cooperatively by human and alien engineers, Maya smiled at the memory of Kess's words. The alien doctor had been right. She had needed treatment, but not to fix what was wrong with her. She had needed treatment to unlock everything that was right with being human. The galaxy, Maya realized, was just the beginning.